Hey guys, welcome back. Continuing our quest to learn HTML. Today we will be looking at head elements. Basically, we will be looking at what head elements are and what it offers. We will know how to leverage that head element for our benefit purposes. And finally, we will go for some quick validation of our code to remain consistent. But before that, I have some couple of updates to share with you. So let's proceed. Before moving on, couple of updates here. First of all, I have changed my language. As you can see, it is now not in Hindi, it is in English. This is because many of my subscriber relatives and friends told me that the content that I am producing will require English to reach wider audience. Second thing is, inside the HTML tutorials folder that we have created in our last class, I have created couple of folders, lesson name and the topics that include. Third thing is, instead of opening the HTML file like the way we did in our last lecture, I'm just going to open it with Lives. It is a very friendly extension, and the reason I am using it because it changed here, it will be changed in the real time, so we can just prototype the things and check what works and what not. The fourth thing is, from now on, I am not going to use any webcam as that was hampering our accessibility. But in case you need a webcam for authenticity purpose, you can comment it down below. We will pick it from there and figure out how to operate. Having said this, let's just start our this session about HTML tags and let me know about HTML tags. Also, I want to share you one important thing. We will be using word because we are having a very small window. We will be using word. This we are ready to go. Okay. First thing first, let's create a small file, name it head.html. Save time. I am just going to copy this because we will be extending from here, and I am just going to use prettier extension method. So let's first understand what head element. Basically, the entire thing is called element. So what head element is? Let's look at that. If you go inside any of HTML file, you will see certain block of elements like this. And if you can see, there are a couple of things inside. The main part of the entire HTML is consisting of head and body tag. There are a couple of more tags also, but main part are head and body. Think it as like your head and body. Anything that goes inside the body is visible to the web page on the web page, and everything the main content that you are going to give will be here. So what is the use of head tag? This is the main thing too. So the use of head tag is basically to help internet understand what whole content is all about. Basically you want to share information about your content to internet, and the way you do it using the everything that goes inside the head tag will be visible to the internet and not to the entire person who is watching this. But this is very helpful because if you know there are certain things that help you to rank out, and these all things goes inside the head tag. So today, instead of looking what head tag is and how it works and how the head tag is, basically we are going to look into how we can utilize this head tag to rank on web pages and use it for different purposes. So with this, let's understand the first thing that comes to our head tag. So first of all, let me close this web page. Let me open with it, the whole HTML file with my live server. Like if you read any article, what is you want? You want to understand who the author is. So the internet also want to understand who the author is. So we are just going to create an author. So inside the meta tag, if you know, meta is basically the metadata creation tag. So inside the meta tag, there are certain attributes, and one such attribute is for name, which actually gives an ID to help internet to figure out that yes, this is what the content is about. So it is name, author, and then there is a different attribute called content. And here the content you can name the author. Like basically, you can think of it like the salutation is author, and the content is like I'm just going to add HS coding types. So first thing is like this. As you can see, our whole web page has been updated, though it is not visible, but let but if you go for the inspect, you can see that there is a meta author and content as a coding IDs. Now let's add some description here, which is the main part where you can do your SEO. Meta again name basically for content ID. And I'm going to name it as description. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some content. And here I am going to add some content related to what my whole web page is all about. So I'm just going to add hello. This is my first web page using HTML where I am learning how to create and utilize metadata help in ranking on the internet. If you see that here is the entire thing, so I'm just going to wrap my word around. You can see. Now, if you close it, then everything will change accordingly. And if you now go for again for inspect, then you can see that we have included our metadata. Now these are the things that are not visible. So now let's add something that is visible to our web page, and that is that this favicon icon. This icon here you can't see anything, right? But if you see, we are having a logo that I have created. You can also add any logo. So what you can do is you can just add logo using this one. The way you do it is by using something called link tag. Basically, it helps you to link different elements for a web page, and it has certain attributes such as relation. Basically, you want to give a relation. Think of rel as short form of relation, and it just relates what your entire the content is about. That is the different type of links is all about. So first of all, this is icon. So I'm just going to add icon. Then we are having a different attribute called href, that is hypertext, that is reference. Href means hyperreference, and here I am going to pass in my file td.png, and as you can see it is auto suggesting that. And finally, to help internet understand what this is, so I am just going to add type attribute which just gives the type of the element, means what type of element we are inputting. And I am just, since it is a favicon, so native is x dot x slash dot icon. And as you can see, we have successfully created our favicon here. This is how you can add a favicon to your web page. Now for the next part, we are going to look into how you can import certain CSS and JavaScript files. Basically, import is done using this one. And the way I am going to do it is I am just going to make this entire thing as a black screen. So for that one, I will be using some CSS. So if you don't understand, doesn't matter. Let's now proceed with that. As you can see, I have now a small CSS file which I already created. I just imported it. So basically, if you look, basically we are defining some font size, and our background will be black color. Yes, this will be changed to black, and our text color will be white, and the size of this will be 50 pixels. Now let's add it. Again, we can use it the link tag. Now again we can define the relation, but now the relation will be a styles it because we are styling the entire HTML document. And now we will be referencing it using href. And what we will be doing, we will be using main dot css, as you can see. And now type is not important, but if you use type, it will be helpful for internet to understand your content. What I am going to use is I am going to use type text slash. This is how we can change our, even if you change this main.css file. Now let's say we want some yellowish color, so you can use this one, this small color palette here, and you can move this slider to yellowish color, and as you change, you can see it is changing in the light. That's the power of light server which we are using. Now as our code, now let's finally check our validation. What we can do for validation is again go for W. Now we will just upload this file. For that I will be opening my file folder here. I will be just opening it in my Review Explorer folder, and I'm just going to go inside the listen tag. Here I will go for validation part. I will just upload my file. I'm just going to upload my files using HTML. I just want to check. Now, if we click on check, you will see that we don't have any errors. That means we have successfully completed the taking, and it is showing us very good results, which is good because we are consistent with our formatting and everything. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like the content, do share, comment, subscribe, and spread this video so other can get help. And also for the next part, I will be covering the body tag and different type of things that we can do with text. So stay tuned for more. Thanks. Have fun. See you later in next part.